everybody, and welcome back to my podcast, Esme's Country Life. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how the past week I've been poorly, so I'm literally recording today's episode the day before it's supposed to come out, so round of applause for Esme's dedication here. Also, I'm going to be talking about the Blenheim Palace Media Day. We're going to be talking about Joey's adventures and taking him loads of different places, including the beach, and I'm going to be talking about how recently I have been deep-faked. But anyway, so that's been a little bit scary. But before we begin, I just want to say a huge thank you to the sponsor of the podcast, Red Post. Red Post is an equestrian and country store based in the UK, and they also ship all over the world. And now's your time, guys. This is your warning that we're in autumn now. And do you know what's after autumn? Winter. And do you know what that means? Even more rain, even colder, even worse weather. But you can be prepared. So get your raincoats, get your horses' rugs, get your new Wellington boots, because I know that yours has a hole in. Yep, don't deny it. Yours has a hole in right now, doesn't it? Anyway, so get all of your new bits and bobs ready for autumn winter from redpostequestrian.co.uk. Anyway, let's get into today's podcast episode. First off, to my people that are watching me on YouTube or on Spotify video, you'll be able to see that I'm not looking my best, and that is because I have had a cold. Yes, I've been poorly, so that hasn't been great. It was Tuesday evening. I started to feel a little bit of a tickle in my throat. You know when you're like, am I going to be getting a cold? Or am I not? Well, at first I thought I was having a little bit of an allergic reaction because sometimes I eat certain like fruits and that, you know, when they make your throat a little bit itchy. Anyway, I thought maybe that was the case. And I was thinking, I haven't eaten anything strange or anything different or any like kind of fresh fruit that normally does that. So anyway, woke up the next day, I was like, oh, I'm fine, but I can tell tomorrow that's going to be the day where the cold hits. Now, I'm the sort of person where if I get a cold or if I'm a little bit poorly, normally I just need 1 day. I need 1 day to recover, recoup, just sit on the sofa and rot and just kind of like build those antibodies and get better. So yesterday was that day. So if you're like, this was my day yesterday. Hello everybody and welcome to my poorly routine. This is what Essie gets up to when she's poorly. So woke up, had some food so I could take some painkillers, had a cup of tea, had actually for my breakfast I ate more than normal. Normally I have 1 slice of toast, but this morning or yesterday morning I had 2 because I was like, you know what, if I'm building up that energy to get better again, I'm gonna have my go-to toast. Now, this toast, some people will get me with this. Some people will be like, Esme, that sounds disgusting. So my favourite toast, and I don't have it every morning, I only have it on special occasions because it's really not good for you. It's basically pure sugar, is I absolutely love Lotus Biscoff spread. If you haven't tried it, if you know those like little Lotus Biscoff kind of biscuits that you get with your coffee at cafes and that kind of thing. It's like that, but in paste form, and it is next level incredible. Absolutely love it, but it is so bad for you. It's basically just like pure sugar. So I was like, you know what? Today is one of those days. I'm going to get out the Lotus Biscoff spread, put it on my toast, and hopefully that will give me a bit of sugar and a bit of energy to somewhat, I was going to say function. I actually had a great day of TV. I had so much TV saved up to watch because I had, what did I do? I watched the whole second part of the new season of Wednesday. So I watched that. I had an episode of The Summer I Turned Pretty that I'd saved up as well. So I watched that. So it was a brilliant day of TV. If you watch those TV programs, you know, I feel like my TV programs that I watch on streaming services are very much teenage girl kind of TV shows. Does that make sense? I don't know. Like, I love a little like lighthearted, that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's what I've been. I love a good cringy TV show. So that's what I've been watching, if you're wondering. And then at lunchtime, I managed to drag myself off the sofa because in true horse girl fashion, it's got to be a lot to stop me from riding. So Casper, I did give the day off because I was like, I only had the energy to ride one horse and he's a little bit older. So I was like, I'll ride Joey. So I did what every non-equestrian thinks you do with riding. And I literally just sat on him. I sat on him and we went for a walk around the village. although our walk did turn into a big canter when we went across the bridle path, but it's fine. I clinged on, I held on. I've just been a human snot machine. Sorry to anybody eating. I feel like you should know if you've listened to the podcast for a while, this is not one to listen to if you're squeamish, because I got stories. Anyway, so yeah, I was basically a human snot machine yesterday, so much so that I literally I was like, sack off the tissues. I'm going to go through these way too quickly, so I just had like you're poorly when you have a toilet roll just next to you in your like place of just germs. That's how I was on the sofa yesterday. So anyway, after my very short ride around the village on Joey, went back home, went back to my sofa and chilled there for a little bit. Oh, do you know what I did do in the afternoon though? Okay, so I was like, I'm gonna download this because I've a day being poorly now. Normally, I don't have the time nowadays anymore to play games, but I was a bit of a gamer girl back in the day. Me and my brother, we absolutely loved playing Pokemon on our Nintendo DS's. So anyway, do you know what I downloaded on my Nintendo Switch? I'm gonna really pronounce this wrong, but the Pokemon, is it Arceus or anyway, I downloaded a new Pokemon. It's not actually new, it's been out for ages, but I've never got around to playing it, and I thought if I'm poorly, I don't know what it is, but whenever I'm poorly, I feel like I'm a kid again. I feel like I've got like the day off school and I'm just like at home chilling. I don't know, because as an adult, you don't have time to be poorly. You know what I mean? Maybe that's just me, but I always feel like I'm a kid again whenever I have a sick day. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to play one of my favourite childhood games. I'm going to play some Pokemon. I don't know if that's really sad or not, but I had a blast. And then by the time the evening rolled around, I did start to feel a little bit better. I don't know if maybe this is just like as I said before, I just have 24 hours of feeling absolutely awful, and then I get better normally quite quickly. So I just have like 24 hours of just resting. But by the evening rolled around, I don't know, maybe it's like an Esme brain thing, but I'm the sort of person, I really struggle to sit still, and I really struggle to just do nothing all day. So by the time the evening came, I was like, okay, I need to do some stuff. So anyway, put on a load of washing. Sorry, this is like, there is a story behind this. You're going to think, Esme, you're just telling me all the chores that you've done around the house. That really isn't very interesting, but there is a story to this. So I thought, bash some washing on. Perfect. I feel a little bit more productive with my day rather than just rotting on the sofa. And as I was, playing my Pokemon game with, I heard a really weird noise coming from the washing machine because in my little cottage, if you didn't know, my washing machine is situated in the kitchen and the whole of the downstairs of my house is kind of like open plan. So I could hear the washing machine that's like the one thing that's kind of annoying. So you can hear the washing machine really well when it's on. And I thought, oh, I can hear the washing machine a little bit better than normal. So I was like, oh, it's making a funny noise. And I went over and I was like, well, it's still going around, it's still, it's just making a bit of a funny noise. Maybe I accidentally forgot to take something out of my pocket. I don't know. Because as a girl, we don't really have many pockets in our clothes. And I don't normally put things in my pocket either. If it is, it's normally my phone, and that goes everywhere with me. You best believe that is never ending up in the washing machine. That is glued to my hand. Anyway, so I thought, oh, maybe there's, I don't know, what maybe there's like a zip on one of my jumpers or hoodies, and maybe that's just like clanking about. So anyway, go back to my game. And then the washing machine starts screaming at me. And I'm like, this isn't its normal, I'm finished, you need to turn me off now scream. This was I am in distress, you need to please help me scream. So anyway, this was also when I was in like a boss battle as well. So I was like mega overstimulated. I was like it was like an intense part of the game, and then the washing machine was screaming at me. Anyway, paused it, ran on over, rescued my washing machine, and then it said I think it was like 36, or like basically it had a little error code on it. And I thought, brilliant. I'm poorly, the washing machine is broken, what else is going wrong? Anyway, I feel like that's just I don't know, being an adult, there's always things just break all the time. I used to play The Sims, and everybody else used to play The Sims 4 back in the day. And in that game, I feel like every day one of the appliances would break. But I tell you what, that's actually very life accurate now, I found out. But anyway, so I open up the washing machine. I'm like, okay, what's the problem? I first text my dad a video of the washing machine, being like, Dad, my washing machine is broken, what do I do? And then like after texting that video, I was like, he's going to take forever to reply. So do you know what I'm going to do? I am going to be a strong, independent woman, and I Googled it. So I searched it up on my phone. There was a YouTube tutorial, and it was like, oh, this part of the washing machine is broken. So anyway, there's a little flap at the front, opened up the flap, had to get an old towel and a bucket, because basically I had to open this compartment. It was something to do with the drainage. So if you can imagine a whole washing machine full of water just pooled onto my kitchen floor, I had to like try and mop that up while trying to stop the flow, while trying to figure out what was jamming the water kind of filtering kind of bit. Anyway, do you know what broke my washing machine? A hair tie. Out of all the things, well, at first I thought, oh my gosh, is this like a pair of my knickers or something? Because there was something stuck, like jammed in this thing, and it was kind of stretchy. Anyway, I managed to, like, I pulled it and I was like, this is, like, at least I was kind of happy that I figured out what the problem was. So anyway, RIP my hairband. I had to snip it out. So yeah, don't keep hairbands or hair bobbles or hair ties or whatever you want to call them in your trouser pockets, because they will jam your washing machine, which I have no idea how it managed to fit through the little water gap kind of thing, because I don't know, I'm trying to think of what I normally wash in my Anyway, don't put hair ties in your washing machine. That is a little note to self. And always check your pockets. I mean, I'm very good at making sure I don't put treats in my pocket, apart from that it's always the tumble dryer. The tumble dryer loves to find like the smallest bit of treat, and then it will just churn it up and everything will just be covered in treat dust. So I feel like that's a very equestrian problem. But anyway, on my own, managed to fix my washing machine for the second time, actually. I think I have done another story where my washing machine had a child lock on and I didn't know how to turn it off, and I also had to consult Google. But it made me realise the internet is a very useful place. I don't know how my parents survived without the internet. I guess I would have just called my dad and been like, hey, can you help me? which was kind of my plan A. Not anymore. Google can help me now. But anyway, so yeah, mopped up all my water that flooded my whole kitchen. Did another load of washing, because that towel definitely needed to go straight in the wash. If not, it was like sodden through, and I was like, that is going to stink and go mouldy if I don't wash it. So anyway, washing machine had an intense day yesterday. Then I was like, okay, let's go. Maybe it was the adrenaline rush of the washing machine not working. But I was in super productive mode. So I baked some banana bread. I made my mum a homemade card for her birthday coming up. I wrapped her presents. The bag that my mum's present has come in is a little bit homemade. Don't get me wrong, my mum loves homemade stuff. So, she's got a homemade card, she's got a homemade present. You know, when you go shopping, nowadays everything's in like a lovely, nice kind of cardboard bag to be good for the planet. So I've reused one of those, because the gift bag that I originally was going to put it in was basically a present didn't fit. So do you know what I did? I got some paper card, went over the logo with some pretty paper, wrote happy birthday on, got some ribbon, tied it up, and she's got a very DIY birthday bag, but it does look cute, and I think she'll appreciate it. So anyway, that was my evening, really, or my day yesterday. But the day before that, actually, was the Blenheim Palace Media Day for the FEI European Championships of Eventing. So yeah, the day that you're listening to this podcast episode, it is 1 week to go. So you have no excuses. I've given you your chance, given you your warning. I don't care where you are. If you're in Australia, America, come on down, come along. Anyway, so yes, that is very, very exciting. So I had a lovely day at the media day. Oh my gosh, we were so worried about the rain that day, because Dad and I, we were looking on like our special weather app that, I don't know, it's a very good one actually, because it shows all the like clouds moving over, so it tells you like minute by minute almost like when it's going to rain, when it's going to stop, and it's pretty accurate. But I just remember, so my routine for like days where we need to get somewhere very early, because basically the UK is really, really rubbish if you're trying to drive anywhere, especially at rush hour. So we've kind of come to the conclusion that if you wake up at 5 a.m, you can pretty much get most places before 9 a.m. unless you're going to Scotland and you're in the south coast of England. That's going to be a little bit trickier. But most places where I end up for work, we can get there before 9 a.m, but we do have to leave at 5 a.m. So anyway, my normal routine that I've probably told you guys before is I have a little sleep. I get into the car, I have my blanket, I go to sleep, I put my chair back, and then I wake up in the morning, and normally, like the night before, this sounds so bad, I put in my like breakfast order, so my dad goes and picks me up a breakfast. So the other morning, I was asleep in the car, and my dad went to the service station, got me my coffee order, and my breakfast, and he came into the car absolutely sodden. It had been raining cats and dogs. It was absolutely pelting it down with rain, and I was there under my blanket all nice and snug and smug because I'd been sleeping the whole way and Dad had been driving since 5 a.m. And his face, I felt so bad. So thank you, Davide, for getting me he's done a little thumbs up behind the camera, for getting me my morning coffee. And then I do my normal, very classy getting changed out of my pajamas into my kind of work outfit in the back of the car, and hope that the truckers don't see me. I was saying next time we need to get a car with like blacked out windows at the back, so getting changed is a little bit less risky, but normally we park somewhere, or sometimes it's in the toilets, but it was absolutely pelting it down with rain, as I said before, and I was not getting out of that car. So anyway, got changed, got to Blenheim, we actually got there a little bit earlier because we were like, oh my gosh, if it's going to rain, we need to get some good content before the rain hits. And also, just like a little bit before, we're the sort of people where, especially my dad, he likes to get content in the bag. Beginning of the day when we've not filmed anything, he's a bit on edge. He's like, we haven't filmed anything. We've got so much to do. We haven't done this yet. And then once we've got some content filmed, he relaxes a little bit. He's like, okay, I've got some stuff in the bag. Anyway. So the issue is Blenheim Palace at the moment is having a lot of work done, which is important because obviously you want the palace to remain standing, and a lot of the kind of, is it brickwork? It's not really brick, is it like sandstone work? What would you say? On the roof, which is obviously very important because, as I know from the cottage, nowhere near Blenheim Palace, but as I know from the cottage, it's very important to have a roof that is functioning because you do not want mould and you do not want your roof to collapse and have rotten beams. Anyway, so they're doing that at the moment. So part of the palace, not all of it, but part of it was under all of this scaffolding. So we were actually very sneaky with our filming. I don't know if you'll be able to see or not, but we tried to be very sneaky that all of the shots and things that we managed to film didn't have this like big scaffolding in the background, because it's not quite the vibe, if you know what I mean. Also, I just want to say a huge thank you to Shoffle for very kindly dressing me for the media day, and they'll also be dressing me for Blenheim as well next week, which is very, very exciting. So if you want to know where my outfit is from, it's from Shoffle, so thank you, Shoffle. So yes, it was a great day. It was really fun catching up with all of my friends as well. So Meg Elphick from Elphick Event Ponies was there. Sam Draycott, the farrier, he was also there. Riding with Charlotte was there. There were also lots of other people that I just know from the industry that you guys probably don't know, but I know from being in the industry. Also, the RDA were there as well, because they are the partner charity of Blenheim. So obviously all of my friends at the RDA, it was lovely to see them and their ponies as well. I'm pretty sure, I was trying to remember, one was called Ocean and one was called Amy. There we go. I remembered their names. I am the worst person at names. Faces, I can remember. Names, I'm absolutely awful. Blame it on the dyslexia. Anyway, so they had these two really cute little cobs and they were adorable. So obviously I had to get some pictures of them with the palace. Also, one of the RDA members, Maddie, she was there, and we were feeding the ponies carrots. It was such a wholesome day. Also before that, so we had I haven't even told you the itinerary of the day. It was a very busy day. So we had, this sounds very, very posh, very, very fancy. We had tea in the palace. So we had tea and coffee in the reception in the library, which was very, very fancy, where they did some talks and also just a little time for everyone to arrive and mingle, that kind of thing. Then we did a course walk, and there was a tractor and a trailer, or there was Subaru cars that we could go in. Now, I lucked out. Last year, I went on the tractor and trailer this year. Now, I didn't do this on purpose, just saying. We were kind of at the end of the crew, or end of the kind of like group, coming out of the library because we were getting extra content. We were getting some cute photos inside. So by the time we got to the back, the tractor and trailer, that was full. So they were like, oh, you're going to have to go in the Subaru cars. And I was like, perfect. Not complaining, because it was a little bit of a rainy day. So I was like, felt like VIP going in a car rather than the tractor and trailer this year. So shout out to James, who definitely will not be listening, but he was our driver in the car and he knew nothing about social media. So the whole time Dad and I were just talking to him about how social media works. So that was great fun. But anyway, so yeah, it was a lovely day. We had a course walk with Captain Mark Phillips. So that was very, very cool. Obviously got to see a lot of the jumps, hear about why he's chosen certain things. I think the way that he put it is he made a course that's kind to horses but difficult for riders, which I think is like a really lovely thing. And he's done lots of alternative routes as well that are a little bit easier as well, which is good. So yeah, it should be a good one. My favourite, places where you need to go if you're going to Blenheim, if you're there on cross country day and you want to see the good fences. Number one is the bridge. The view from the bridge is incredible. You can see the horses go over, that kind of area. Also, if you turn around, you can see the roller coaster, which it's just difficult to explain if you've never been there before, but it's kind of like is undulated the right word? It kind of goes, there's like a hill and it goes up and down. So it's kind of normally like a little bit of a technical combination. That's always a really good one to watch. Then if you go over the bridge, go up to the top of the hill, you have one of the water complexes. There are actually, I think there's 3 actually, if you include the river/lake as well. So obviously, yeah, you have the one where the bridge is, you have the top of the hill. That's going to be the one to watch. That's where everyone's going to want to bring their deck chairs, have a little sit down there, or their picnic blankets. And then they actually have another water complex as well that is a little bit nearer the main arena and the palace itself. And that one I think might be new, or they've definitely had it in the past, but they've revived it. So that will be one to watch as well. I feel like the water is always the most exciting fences, in my opinion anyway. So that will be very, very cool. So looking forward to that. So yeah, after our course walk, we then went and met the RDA ponies, got some photos with them, said hi to the team, and then it was time for our afternoon tea, which was very nice. And they have like a nice little, it was supposed to be outside in the sunshine. There was no sunshine, so we were inside. We just got a little goodie bag as well. So yeah, it was a great day. And then afterwards we did some kind of filming with all the influencers, content creators, whatever you want to call us. I feel like that's such a controversial thing because some people prefer the word influencers because they feel more like a proper person. I don't know. Some people prefer content creators because they think of influencers as like people trying to sell stuff. I don't know. I just say I make videos on the internet anyway. So moving on. We did some filming for socials and behind the scenes. And then after that, I was feeling awful. The cold was hitting. The last part was to go on the like palace roof and do a palace roof tour. And I had to go and say to the media team, like, I'm sorry, I gotta go. I was by the end of it was getting to the end of the day, and it was like a tiny little tour at the end at the top of the palace, and I was like, I'm tapping out. I've got all the content that's needed. So anyway, luckily we got home. It also meant that we got home in time to put the horses to bed as well, which is also one of our worries because oh my gosh, the roads were awful on the way home. The traffic was so bad, but anyway. There are worse problems to have. So, and then, yeah, the day after that was my day of being poorly. So there we go. But on a brighter note, before that, I've had some lovely times with Mr. Joey lately. So now he is feeling good. He's back in full work. He's feeling amazing. We have been taking him here, there and everywhere. So we took him last Saturday, actually, on a lovely ride along the hills. We got some beautiful photos and he was as good as gold. He just had an absolute blast. It's so funny. We do this route that's quite long. It's about 9-10k. And when we do it, when we go to this place up on the hills, when we first started taking him there, he would be so excited when we first arrived. He'd be like jumping about like, woohoo, let's go, I want to gallop. But now he knows that we go for a slightly longer ride. So he is so chilled. He's like, I need to reserve my energies, because this is a long one. He knows that it's a bit of more of an endurance ride. And then we also, the other day, took him to the beach as well, which I have not taken Joey to the beach since end of 2023, because we were shooting the Lemieux spring summer collection for 2024. We're wearing the J blue. It's actually my lock screen at the moment, so for my video watchers, I was gonna say video listeners, video watchers on YouTube. Oh no, it stopped. Wait, come back to life. On YouTube and on Spotify video. So there we go. But yeah, that's one of my favourite photos of Joey, just because he looks so happy and we're cantering in the sea. And also it's like a lovely screen lock as well, because like the whole background, it's quite a misty day. So like it almost looks like we're not at the beach, because the sky is all white. Obviously the sand's kind of all white as well. The water's like reflecting off the sky. So it looks like we're just like cantering with like a white green screen on. Anyway, but yeah, that time it was actually so lovely because we met somebody else there. I say met, like literally first time meeting them, they were just there with their horse on the beach, and I like kind of rode up being like, hi, is your horse okay if my horse comes and says hi? And anyway, I probably said this on the podcast, like if you go and find that episode from 2023, and they very kindly let me come into the water with their horse, and Joey was so brave because there was another horse in the water. And anyway, Joey again this time was so brave, because he again hasn't been to the beach in ages, and there was so many like puddles of water and scary reflective kind of bits of water and patches and that kind of thing, and he was just so brave. He went through all the water, although there was one part where there was a bit of seaweed that touched his leg, and in all fairness, when I'm swimming in the sea and a bit of seaweed touches my leg, you best believe I'm freaking out as well. But he was very good. He was like, oh, I'm just gonna sashay away from that bit of seaweed. No, you cannot touch my leg. But no, bless him, he was so good. And that boy, he loves to people watch. If there's something going on, you best believe he is one nosy horse as well. Like when I'm riding along in the village, and especially when the hedges are cut and they go a little bit lower, he is putting his head up high and he is looking in everyone's gardens. He wants to know the gossip. He wants to know what's happening. So as soon as there was somebody else there, or somebody with a dog, he was just so happy and mesmerised, especially when my dad stopped to get off his bike and switch the cameras around, because we filmed a YouTube video of it as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And also we're getting like, we had loads of cameras. We had the action camera that didn't mind getting wet. We had the video camera that we were using for YouTube. We had the photo camera as well, because we were getting some super cute pics. Oh my gosh, my dad has got this incredible photo of us, because we went first thing in the morning. Like that was an early start, 5 a.m. Let's go. This was Tuesday morning, by the way, so I've had a busy week. Wait. Okay. Here it is. Oh my gosh, people on video are getting all the sneak peeks. I'm going to describe it for my audio listeners, so I apologise if you're an audio listener. You might be like driving your car right now, so concentrate on your driving. But anyway, there's a lovely picture of Joey and I with the sunset in the background, and it's a very kind of golden sunsetty light. Oh, I need to give my dad his... Okay, wait. There we go, he's got his phone back, because the way that we edit the podcast, I don't know if I've ever explained this to you before, because we like the term work smarter, not harder. When I record a podcast, if there's ever a time where, I don't know, I was going to say where I need to cough. Normally it's my dad. To be fair, he is asthmatic, so I can't complain too much. But every now and again, sometimes he needs to cough and we have to pause the podcast for him to cough. He also if I mess up my lines, which normally isn't, I quite like the podcast to be quite raw and like I'm having a chat with a friend. But I don't know, if I start waffling on, actually not very often it happens, but if I start waffling on about, I don't know, something super weird, but I'm like, just cut that bit out. But basically my dad, on his notes app, he writes down the timestamps of when we need to make a cut or edit a bit out or change something. So it means that when we go to edit the podcast, he doesn't, or I don't, have to watch a whole 45-minute episode trying to remember where the cuts are. So there we go. Anyway, what was I even talking about? As I was talking about going off on tangents anyway, riding Joey on the beach. So yeah, he was so good, bless him. Tell you what, it's a good excuse for making you clean your tack, because as soon as you go to the beach, everything needs a clean, because it gets all salty and all wet, and like obviously salt water and water in general is not good for your tack. So this is your message. If you haven't done so this weekend, clean your tack. Or if you're not listening to this at the weekend when it comes out, because the podcast episodes come out every Saturday, if you didn't know, clean your tack today, or next time you're at the barn or at the stables, clean it. Anyway, moving on. But yeah, Jerry had a lovely time. I need to talk to you about my being deep faked. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I haven't talked about that yet. So I have actually done a whole YouTube video on this, because I was like, I need as many people to know about this as possible, because it's actually very, very scary. But recently, there is this company, I'm going to try explain it the best I can. There is this company that has made a fake camera, which looks very similar to a camera I promoted a year ago. Now, this camera that I promoted a year ago, I absolutely love. Now, whenever I work with brands, I always like to try the product out first if it's a brand that I've never worked with before. And it has to be something that genuinely I would buy with my own money, I would use. Like this camera I've been using for the last year. It's the official one is the Insta360 Go 3S. I'm pretty sure it's called. Yes. That's a lot of letters for someone who's dyslexic to remember. And I have been loving that. So it's like a little action camera. You can clip it to your helmet. I use it all the time for filming. Now, there is a company that has made a fake camera that looks very similar. So they've stolen the design. But you know what they've also stolen? Me. They've stolen my video clips to promote their camera, which isn't... It's false. It's false, which, number one, when you film anything, I own the footage. So sometimes when I work with a brand, they say, hi, can I buy this footage off you? And it's often for like a time period. It might be 6 months, it might be a year, that they can then use that footage for adverts and things like that. This brand has literally stolen my content, stolen my identity as well, because they've used my face and my voice to promote a product that I have never ever used, which is actually kind of scary to show like what AI and stuff can do, that they've like literally like stolen my voice and my face and that kind of thing, and also stolen my clips too. So that is very scary. And the thing that is really scary and really sad is that I've had messages from people and emails from people saying, Esme, I've bought this camera that you promoted and it's rubbish. I'm really like upset. I can't believe you could promote something that's so awful. And that's not the camera I promoted. That is the fake one. And so many people have fallen for this fake camera because it's got my face in. So if you're ever worried about buying something, message me on Instagram. I can give you that. Also, if I'm working with a brand, often I have a link to give you guys, if that's in the video or in my like link tree. So if you go on my Instagram, if you click on the link in my bio, it goes to a link tree and it has all the different links to everything. So it has a link to my website, a link to my merch, because also there's a lot of fake This Esme merch out there as well. I do have This Esme trademarked, so if there is fake merch, I am trying my best to get it taken down. But there's always new ones that pop up, so that's a little fun game that we play. Also, like other things, like all the charities that I work for as well, if you want more information about them. So often when I do work with a brand, I have a special URL link for you guys, which normally when I work with brands, I always like to give back to you guys. So if that's a discount code or like a free gift when you buy the product or something like that. So if you are thinking about buying a product that I have personally promoted on my channel, use the link through the video or my page, because then you get the official website, and also you guys get a discount as well, which no brainer. So anyway, yes, please be careful with what you take in and what you watch online, because not everything is real. And I'm sure there's been hundreds of other content creators or influencers or YouTubers that have had the exact same problem, where there have been companies stealing their content. So legally, we're trying everything that we can to take it down, because obviously it is illegal. They are legally using me to promote something and also legally stealing my footage as well. So anyway, thought I would talk about that because that's something a little bit scary and something not so nice that has happened recently, because again, there are so many emails that I've had come through from brands offering money to promote products and things that genuinely I don't believe in, that I've rejected so many different brands and so many different brand deals over the years, because to me personally, integrity means more, and I don't want to be one of those influencers that sell their soul and promote things that they genuinely don't believe in. And I've been doing this for a really, really long time. There are a lot of brands and a lot of deals that I have not accepted, and I would hate for people to think that I'm accepting brand deals for brands and for products that are low quality and that are not great. So yes, please be careful with what you consume and what you watch online, because there are things, unfortunately, that are not real. So there we go. That is the that is the takeaway from today's podcast episode. I feel like I've been not too bad actually. I've taken my painkillers, I've had my coffee, and yesterday I was thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to record today's podcast episode? Hopefully, I haven't sounded too awful or too snotty or nasal or whatever. But anyway, on that note, comment of the week. How could I forget comment of the week? I've had too much to talk about, obviously. It's been a long week. I was supposed to record today's podcast episode earlier on in the week, because normally I do it. Maybe this is making me, I really probably should. Well, with the podcast, I quite like it to be, oh, this is what I've done in the last week. So it's kind of like maybe like a week's delay of what I've been up to, because, I don't know, I want to be talking about current events, current things, what I've been up to, but maybe I should have like a 2-week delay on the podcast, just in case something like this happens where I'm poorly and you guys probably don't want to hear me. I mean, to be fair, I haven't been poorly in ages. Maybe that should be the comment for comment of the week. When were you last poorly? Because for me, I guess it's been summer recently. I think last time I was poorly was the spring. Like, I haven't been poorly in ages. So anyway, maybe it was well overdue. I'm just glad that I've got it over now, so then I'll be completely fine for all of my meet and greets. So there we go. That is like my worst fear, is being poorly at my meet and greets. Comment of the week, that's what we're doing. Sorry. So last week's episode, I talked a lot. Well, it was the week before that I talked about cows, I'm pretty sure. But Lauren P, she has top comment, and it says, first, ! So thank you for coming to the podcast episode early. And they say, also, I know we talked about cows last week, and one time I stuck my hand in a cow. Not gonna lie, I've also done that. So if you didn't know, back when I was at school, I used to work at a vet's practice, and I also did a lot of work experience, especially in the East holidays, I think it was, at a friend's farm. So I have also put my hand in a cow to feel if it was pregnant. So that's quite fun. One thing that, if you haven't done that before, it feels hotter than you expect, because obviously animals or humans are about 37, 38 degrees C. So you've got to think that's actually quite warm. So anyway, sorry, well, at least we've saved this to the end of the podcast episode. As I said before, do not listen to this if you're squeamish while eating. Stuck my hand in a cow. It was through a cannula into their rumen. Oh, wow. Part of their stomach. Oh, wow. That's very cool. That's very different. That's not the part of the cow that mine was the bottom. So anyway, since I was in vet camp, that's so cool. I didn't know they do vet camps. Maybe that's an American thing, because I know that in America they have like a lot of different summer camps, like kayaking camp, horse camp, rock climbing. There's probably a camp for everything, like math camp. Is that a thing? Is that like in TV shows? I remember like, oh, my mom's gonna send me to math camp, vet camp. That sounds so cool. And we were learning about different layers of the rumen. Oh, there we go. Well, there's a little fun fact for everyone today. And then the other comment of the week is from Ava, who says, comment of the week entry. Because I asked you guys, what are you working on at the moment with your horse riding? And Ava says, I'm working on my jumping confidence, and I have been for a few years. And last week I jumped my lone pony for the 3rd time. I've had him in brackets 6 months, and it was the most confident I have felt in years. Love you, Esme, and see you at Hoy's. I'm going to be there on the Saturday. I'm pretty sure tickets for the meet and greet are actually sold out, but Horse of the Year show, it's still a great show. If you want to go along, would recommend the shopping, the show, everything. Brilliant. Anyway, so yeah, see you at Hoy's, Ava. Thank you so much for your comment of the week. I'm so happy as well that your jumping confidence is boosted, because I feel like that is like the best feeling when you've lost your confidence, but you get it back afterwards, and you're like, oh, yes, guys, back in action. That's kind of where I am with Joey at the moment. Like, he's feeling good again, he's feeling fit. So anyway, for comment of the week this week, let me know when you were last poorly, because for me it's been like half a year, which is very, very lucky. I'm very lucky to have been in good health for half a year. But anyway, it's that season. Everyone's going to be getting poorly. Everyone's going to be getting colds. But anyway, thank you so much again to Red Post for sponsoring the podcast. Really, really appreciate it. Go and check them out at redpostequestrian.co.uk. And I'll see you guys all in next week's episode. Bye!